She teaches regular library media classes. She also teaches library media enrichment, where small groups of students explore more in-depth research skills, media and digital literacies. And then she also does more intensive project-based learning. Her experience using breakout games in the library has dramatically increased library engagement. We always love that, while targeting specific skills at the request of her literacy coaches. So it's engaging, and yet it's hitting literacy skills too. She's served on the council board. We love having you on the council board since 2021. And she's a member of the All CT Reads Committee, which is a pretty big commitment as well. And if I could say before you start, just, we've got a couple things coming up for our PD. We've got a technology users group on April 23rd, coding with turtle art. May 13th, we've got bringing closure to the year. That's Let's Library, so like more library focused, and then another technology users group on May 21st, the end of year tech smackdown, right, Shannon McNeese. So Christine, thanks so much for sharing your expertise with us, and take it away.
Yes, I am so excited. Thank you all for being here, for signing up for this. This is really a way for me to share something that I am just obsessed with, and I hope that you all will get the same excitement that I get out of this, and that my students do too, right? I'm obsessed with it because they're obsessed with it. So this is all about breakout games, breakout challenges in the library. I'm going to go through a couple different options for you, and then talk about one of my favorite ways to get it done. So I'm going to share my screen. I am quite new at this, so I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions along the way. Hopefully I am going to get this right here. Okay, breakout games, share. All right. All right. I'm hoping you all see this presentation.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Excellent. Okay. So the first thing I want to cover, I guess, here is why breakout games, right? We all talk about how we can possibly get students more engaged in the library. I am not a huge fan of passive activities. I love the kids to be active and thinking, and I actually happened upon this by accident. I was inspired by one of my students who kept talking to me about a birthday party that they went to at an escape room. And the wheels started turning, and I was like, you know what? We can make this work in here too. So one of the things that I, of course, had to go through was, how does this align with my curriculum, right? How does anything work with our curriculum? So as Val said earlier, I, in addition to my regular library media classes, I teach library media enrichment, which is one of our WIN blocks. I don't know if any of your districts have a WIN block. It stands for What I Need Now. It's basically our intervention block, multilingual learners who might need English language support. And it started a couple of years ago when a few of the higher ups in my district decided that some kids did not need test prep, quote unquote, whatever that means. I don't know. I think all kids need test prep to a certain extent, but they decided they needed to take them out of the classroom and give them something else to do. And I was there something else to do. So I said, well, what can I do to challenge these kids and have it align with library curriculum, right? So this is how I pitched what I was going to do to my admin. So what I'm going to be focusing on today, which is, I will show you my BreakoutEDU platform. They really focus on the 4 C skills: critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication. Most of the, I shouldn't say most, I should say all of the breakout challenges that they provide on their platform, they all align with these 4 C skills. And of course, standards alignment, of course, the AASL standards for learners, the Common Core ELA, Math, and Next Gen Science are all included on the BreakoutEDU platform. And I'll talk a little bit more about that coming up here. So as I was going through and I said, how can I sell my admin on this? I went through all of these standards that these breakout challenges could cover. And this is just a real short list of what I could come up with. And I don't know about anybody else, but there are certain standards I struggle to hit, right? There's certain categories in the ASL standards that, for whatever reason, are just harder for me to come up with things to do. And one of them being the collaborate section of the standards. I always had trouble thinking about how can I hit that standard in my lessons. And really, this is the gold mine for that. So I was so happy that that I stumbled upon this platform and this method of instruction. So one of the things that Val also brought up in her wonderful intro of me was that I was asked to cover certain things even though these students did not need test prep by the literacy coaches. They said, you know, as a whole, our students are struggling with X, Y, and Z skills. And how can you help with enriching those skills in the library? So it was a great opportunity for me to collaborate with my coaches in my building, with the classroom teachers to identify areas that needed improvement. And then I just used these challenges as test prep, which I'll get into later, and aligning literacy skills with classroom curriculum. So as I said, the platform that we're really going to be going over today is BreakoutEDU. And I have this link here that I'm going to pull up because in my conversation with my my ELA coach in my school, I'm hoping you guys see my new tab now. She said, you know, these are the standards, the Common Core standards that our students are not meeting proficiency at. And BreakoutEDU has this wonderful guide to all of their games that cover every single Common Core standard. So I narrowed this down to grades 4 and 5 because those are the grades that I teach. But these lists that are available on their platform are not exclusive to grades 4 and 5. So every single standard is covered here. This is just Common Core that I brought up here, but they have Next Gen and math in their things as well, which I know we're always trying to think about ways. I mean, we're always trying to think about ways that we can cross library with other subjects. And I mean, library and math is like one of the most difficult ones I think to crosswalk. And here we go. We've got Breakout that can do that for us. So I wanted to just show you guys this list because if I click these links, it will link right to the breakout games that are associated with this standard. Very, very cool. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this. Hoping that you see it. Wonderful. Okay, so also it's fun. Breakout games are fun. There's not much more to be said about it. My kids have so much fun running around the room, solving puzzles. I mean, it doesn't feel like school to them, and it doesn't feel like school to me when I'm making them either. That's a plus too. So I want to talk about our 3 breakout options, and I have some ones linked here that I'm going to drop in the chat so that you guys can explore them yourselves. So let's start with no tech. If tech scares you, if you're not ready to jump in, 2 feet, then no tech breakout options are the easiest step. We're all familiar with worksheets. It's really easy to split your kids up into teams, have them complete a worksheet, that worksheet in an envelope. When they complete that worksheet to the best of their ability, when they complete all the tasks on that sheet, it unlocks the next envelope. Okay, moving on to envelope 2. And then the team that completes all their way through the envelopes would be the winner. So a good no-tech option. The internet's out in your building. There you go. Really easy, really easy to set that in motion. Low-tech options. These are for those of us that maybe the BreakoutEDU platform is a little intimidating for. So I'm going to, like I said, drop these links in the chat. Now, a lot of these use Google Forms. So you also do not have to go through all the work of making one of these yourselves. So I just dropped the link to my first one there. That's the Harry Potter digital escape room that I have linked there. This is a way to bring literature connections into the library, or I shouldn't say into the library, I should say they're in the library. Bring literature connections into these games. So I just put in, oh, thank you, Shannon, for dropping that link in the chat there. I appreciate that. That was an oversight by me. And then, of course, the ever popular Dog Man. Any quick Google search for digital escape room and like insert topic here. Our librarian colleagues all over the country have already done a lot of this work for us, have created a lot of these sorts of things, but you can also use them as a basis to build your own. Let's say you did, you know, an author study or a book study with your school, one book. You can use these Google Form challenges as a template. So I'm just going to pull up the Hogwarts digital escape room, which was created at the Peters Township Public Library in McMurray, Pennsylvania. Just giving credit there. But as you can see, it starts off with a story, with a picture, and students can move through it by hitting next on the form. You and your roommates are now in a bright circular room with a single door that has a bunch of numbers on the handle. Okay, our first challenge is coming. On the table, you see a strange thin black rectangle. You pick it up and it says swipe up to open. You're able to swipe up, but it's blank. And now we have the first library skills challenge of this. Okay, the bubbles in this post are connected. So if this is a great one for nonfiction Dewey Decimal challenges, because all of these, side note, I've done this one before. So all of these titles here, Sizzling Scale is a collection of daring dragon poetry, magical maps and the art of not getting lost, dragon rhymes and maps. How would those titles in this poster be connected? So, what number combination do you try? Well, okay. Let's have this, we can have this be a, anybody can jump in here. If we do dragon rhymes and maps, what code would you all like to try for this that I should type in here? Anyone? So rhymes would be poetry, right? That would fall under literature, 800. Maps would be falling under 900, right? A book of maps. So we have 800 and we have 900. Which combination do you think we should try?
I think that makes 1700. But I'm
1700. Woo, yes. And the door opens. Okay, so we're moving on to the next one. If we did not put it in correctly, so we can see what it would, the door does not open. Your friends review the conversation and the poster again. So I love these as low tech, right? And if you're, listen, we've all been in the situation where there's just no money to spend. Google Forms, assuming that you have access to the Google apps, then Google Forms is free, right? It's not going to cost you anything. This Dogman escape room, which link I dropped in the chat, I tested this out. Last night at home, and it made my Google Meet run very slowly while I was doing it at the same time. So I'm not going to navigate through this one, but super cool. I mean, whoever designed this, I really want to meet them because I'm jealous of their skills. And again, it's just a nice, it's already set up for you. You can use this link to your heart's desire, pin it, bookmark it, whatever. But again, any quick Google search can give you a ton of digital escape rooms that have already been created. So no need to reinvent the wheel or anything like that. And this is also a good option, like one of these Google Forms ones. They're also good options for if you do not want to break your students into small groups. So if you want your students to work individually, these low-tech options are pretty convenient. So I'm going to pop my way back over to my presentation here. And first, before I do anything else, I want to see if there are any questions to this point. I've done a lot of talking and I talk really fast, and sometimes I forget to take a breath and see if anybody has any questions. If we don't have any questions, I'll keep on moving forward.
I haven't seen any questions in the chat. And
Okay.
I think it's pretty clear if I'm following.
Okay.
But
Thank you. I have been told that I talk too fast and I never take breaks, so I do need to remind myself that sometimes. So, okay, so now for the meat and potatoes of why I assume a lot of you are here, and it is to explore the BreakoutEDU platform. Those of you who are not familiar with BreakoutEDU, it is an online subscription-based platform that contains hundreds of breakout challenges. And they offer digital subscriptions and physical kits. I have my physical kit with me, so I will be going through what the digital platform looks like, and I will show you exactly what is offered in the physical kit as well. I was able to take all this information that I'm sharing with you now and present it to my admin, and I got central office to pay for it. So it is totally possible that if you don't have that much money in the budget, I should say, the physical kits are $129. They're not that bad. It's not that bad. And with the digital subscription is $99 a year. Together, they're a discounted price. So I just wanted to share that upfront in case any of you are thinking about your budget for next year or anything like that.
So and digital, explain that again, 99
So the
for,
digital subscription, access to the platform, is $99 per year.
Okay.
Per school year, for a single school. I also want to share with my colleagues in Connecticut that I am currently in talks with Kim at the Middletown Service Center to purchase some of the physical kits to be loaned out for Connecticut schools. So, you know, keep this, if you know you don't have the money, but you're very interested, you know, keep that in mind because they may be available to you soon from the Middletown Service Center. So keep that in mind. We are working on it. We're trying to come up with a way to make this accessible. So, so I am going to switch to show you what the Breakout homepage looks like. Okay, so I'm hoping that you see my homepage now. So we've got my account here, and you can search through all the games. My classes are here. So I have my WIN enrichment for 4th grade and for 5th grade here. You can manage your class, assign games to them, but I want to just jump right in and show you what one of the games looks like. So I am going to start with the lock of the day. Every day, Breakout does a lock of the day, and hopefully this loads. And I always start my students by doing a lock of the day. It is a wonderful warm-up activity, and it's also great for early finishers. So I give them access to this, and I will show you how you would create your class and add your students into it. And in case you don't have time to try to figure these out yourself, the solutions come right out. But if I hit play game, what's fun is they definitely do a lot of themed locks. So obviously today, Eclipse Day. So today's puzzle is all about the solar eclipse. So this is how I use this to help my students with close reading, looking at details, time management also. This particular lock is not timed, but many of the ones on Breakout EDU are. And the first thing I always have them do is look at the lock. Now, the cool thing about Breakout EDU is that the locks are not always number combinations, right? They are sometimes crazy things. This one is a directional arrow lock. So we know that we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 directional arrows in order to unlock this puzzle. So I always direct my students to the sentence because there's often some clues that are hidden in the sentence here. The moon will move from west to east as it passes in front of the sun. So I'm just gonna sit for a while, and since I want to make sure you guys see this, and I want you guys to unmute yourself and think about what our first move should be to unlock this lock here. Anybody has any thoughts? I don't want to, if I switch back to the meet to look at the chat, I will end up taking this off the screen, and I don't want to do that, so.
Did you say that the moon moves, it said the moon moves east to west?
It says the moon will move from west to east as it passes in front of the sun, right down here.
So
that's our sentence clue.
At first I was thinking that we were supposed to read from, I gotta think this through, but you know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, we're supposed to read from west to east.
That's a good guess.
But I think that's like overthinking it probably.
Well, I was thinking just the directional arrows, like hit the left one and then the right one.
Right.
But I don't know.
Left one and the right one. Then
Right,
we have
so going west and then east, right?
Mhm.
Like,
so this is what I always tell my students, nothing is here by accident. So everything means something.
Well, that's what I was, the order.
Are we supposed to pick which picture is the first?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not right.
What's our first photo? What do you think is
the
which
second one
first
on the bottom row?
Yes. Okay, so here's our start, right? This would be our start. So where's the next one? Which one would be next?
The one right above it.
yeah.
Right.
So we're going up.
And then,
Now we're
and then to the right.
to the
To
right.
the right, yeah, the one to the right of that.
And then
all the way over to the left. No, sorry.
No,
Yeah, no.
the first one on the bottom.
first one on the bottom.
Wait,
Yeah,
the third one. That's the eclipse, isn't it? Right underneath.
Down.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, right, yes, the third one, then the first one.
Then
Then the
yeah.
first one. So now we're going left again.
And then right
So now
above.
we're here, right above.
Up.
So now we are up.
Mhm,
Now we're here.
mhm.
Yep. And then I guess the very, all the way to the right.
All the way to the right. And then the only one we haven't done yet.
Yeah, down.
Bottom one,
Down.
down.
And submit. We did it! We broke out!
Oh my God.
Good job, guys. So
This really
basically
forces
what-
your brain, Christine, to work in
It does.
different
And I know because
ways.
we've all left work, so I apologize for making you guys think. So this is what the students see when they break out. And can I tell you how many of them screenshot this and then they put it as their Chrome background wallpaper? It's hilarious to me, but I love it so much. So we will exit the game. One of the cool things about, as an educator, we have the option of sharing feedback, whether or not we recommend the game, if we found it too easy, too hard, just right. Obviously, I think about it like in the terms of my students. I think it probably would have been just right for my students. So I'm going to submit that feedback to them, and we thank you for reviewing. One of the cool things about Breakout is the kids get to level up, which they're obsessed with. So every time they break out of a challenge, they unlock a new feature to have to do with their avatar. So they get new options for hats and like necklaces and hairstyles and all of that kind of stuff, which is, they love it. So they get like an extra little boost every time that they complete a challenge. So I'm just going to go to the search feature now and show you guys one of the multi-lock games. So I am going to, because it's my grade levels, I'm going to search 4th and 5th grade, and I want this one to be library skills. So I'm going to check the skills for library, the box for library skills. You can see here all the subjects that they offer. Elementary is any of the subjects within that age range. And locks of the day, as you can see, we just did that one, computer science. Breakout Plus is a new feature that features animated games. Have not explored it all that much, just a little bit up to this point. So I won't explore that for now, but I do a lot of the holidays and seasonals. It's a good way to send kids off to break or welcome them back from break. So I'm going to do library skills, and we're going to do a digital game. So if I hit our magnifying glass, these are all of the games that hit those criteria. So these are all of the ones that are targeted for 4th and 5th grade that feature library skills and our digital games. So I'm going to look at this Breakout the Books game, and we will, again, it will show you the answers as an educator. So you can give your students appropriate help if they need it. So if I go to play this game, I just want to show you guys, we won't play this whole game because I do want to be respectful of your time, even though they're fun. But I want to show you what it looks like when the game has more than one lock. So this is a similar one from the one that we did in the Hogwarts digital escape room in Google Forms. And we are lining up the titles that we see here with the duty category that they would be a part of. But if a student is really struggling with this one, they don't really get it, they're not really sure what they're supposed to do, you can see here the different locks on the bottom. This one is a color lock. So in order to break out of this challenge, we would have to get the correct colors in the right order. They can skip to this next lock, which would be a number lock. They don't have to be completed in order. So this one would be a 3-number lock. We've got another directional lock here, another number lock, and a shapes lock at the end. So in order for them to successfully complete this challenge, they would have to unlock all 5 locks, which might seem daunting. I assigned this to my 5th graders last week, and they were able to complete it within the half-hour block that we have for their class period. So especially when they get used to it, they start noticing what to look for. And especially when I remind them that nothing is here by accident, no clues are here by accident, they start to get an idea of what to look for. So like, I'll talk about this one real quick. It's another directional lock. We won't put it in, but so I had them stare at this and stare at this. And they were like, you know, we see the titles and we see the authors, but I just don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information. And I said, well, we're in the library, so how would you find them? And that's when it unlocked it for them that they needed to put them, of course, if we were in a library and these titles are in the library, which ones would they come, would they come to first in alphabetical order? So unlocking this one would be starting here for the last name Beatty, and then moving over to Cannon, down to McNamara, all the way over left for Jason Reynolds, back right for Sonia Sotomayor, and then up to Mo Willems. So that would be how to unlock this particular lock, and then it would move you on to the next one. And you can see how they change color. So this is how it works in a multi-lock game. So I'm going to exit this game here and just show you guys the classes. Oh,
Christine, hang on. We have a couple questions for you.
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Rebecca asks, do you play the lock of the day as a class, or do you assign the challenges to the class individually?
Both. We do the lock of the day as a class normally, where we share ideas out loud. We share our clues out loud, and it's kind of like our warm up. And then I usually assign them a multi-lock game as like step 2. So the lock of the day is definitely more of a warm up because they're usually similar. Locks of the day are meant for any age group, so they're targeted towards younger students. especially because, you know, you don't want, the luck of the day is never going to be at a high school level. Let me put it that way. It's always going to be accessible. So it's a good warm up. And depending on what the plan is for my lessons for that day, I'll either assign them then a multi-lot game after that, or that's just our warm up activity. And then we move on to the next thing just to get like the juices flowing, just to get our brain working.
Okay, and then Mary asks,
Yeah.
can you purchase the digital subscription without getting the physical starter pack?
Absolutely, you can. If you go into their store, which I'm hoping you see now, you can see all of the digital subscription renewal and kit. I believe you can just get the subscription. It's not showing me a plain subscription because I already have it, but I believe you can get it because that's how I started. Whether or not, now I'm wondering if that was maybe a COVID thing. So that, I think you would have to explore the store on your own. I don't know that I can see that because I'm logged into my account at the moment. But this, the digital subscription for me right now to buy another year would be $99. Another physical kit with a renewal, and then a physical kit would be $129. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have never used any of the stuff in the expansion pack. You don't need it. That's just straight up. You don't need it. If you want to get complicated, you can, but not necessary.
Amy, do you want to ask your question?
Sure. I was just curious because I was kind of looking at the pricing, and there's like a classroom subscription is $99. But does that have a limit on how many kids? Because
I have not encountered a limit.
okay, so you have all the kids in your school loaded in?
I have almost 100. I have not reached a limit, and this is my. I'm trying to think of how long I've been doing this. I have not hit a limit, and I've where did you? I'm just curious because where did you see that it was per class?
Well, there's a because I'm not logged in, like I don't.
Right.
So I just went to their site and got to like bring BreakoutEDU to your classroom. And there's one that says classroom, and it says one educator in a single classroom includes student accounts. And then the one for school or district includes multiple teachers, but it allows unlimited student accounts, and that's $1,500.
Okay, so because I'm the only one in my school that uses this, I have a one class account. It's never limited me to the amount of students.
Gotcha.
I would definitely ask that question to their support, but I have only ever paid for one digital subscription because there's no other teachers on my account.
Right. No, I get that part. It's just if you have more than, like, your average classroom teacher in a high school might have 125 kids. So if you went past that, like, you might hit a wall. I'll talk to them about it.
That's definitely a good question. I wish I could answer it, but from my personal experience, I don't want to speak to that just because I haven't encountered that issue personally. Were there any other questions or?
Nope, didn't see any.
All right, so I'll just show you guys what it looks like in the class. So if you can see my classes, you can create a class, you can import a class. You can import a class from Google, which is how I typically will open the class. And then in my enrichment group, kids kind of come and go throughout the year. Some stay all year, some don't. Some classroom teachers pull them back to their classroom. They take them out of the group. So I'll just show you in the class, you can see the roster and any games that you've assigned them. So these are some games that I've assigned to them. The lock of the day, unless I specifically assign it to them, does not show up here. So even though we do it, at least twice a week, every week, it doesn't show up here. But the cool thing is you can see the results. So let's say this one here. Of course, it's not going to show me. You can download your results, and it will download you. Here we go. So you can see. how long it took them to do it, a breakdown of how they performed on if there was more than one lock. So you can see some of them solved it pretty quickly. Some of them, what do you think? Let me look here. Some of them spend more time on it than others. So you can report, you can, I should say, you can get a report of all of the things that that they have done. So I can look to see back what games I've assigned to them, and that's pretty much all I have to say as far as that one goes. The kids can also create their own games, which is why it says I have 3 games awaiting review, 4 games awaiting review in this class. The kids can create their own digital challenges and share it with each other. They can share it with the class. We're still working on that skill set, so those are going to sit in the awaiting review for a while. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to show you guys some of the physical assets, because I'm actually running a breakout. I am running a breakout on Wednesday, and I brought home my kit so you guys can see what the kit looks like. So they send everything in this big plastic box. I usually start my breakout challenges by hiding this somewhere in the library with a clue on the smartboard. So it usually has to do with a call number. So I'll embed a call number into my clue, or I'll capitalize the letters in a call number that will send them to whatever part of this library that I have this hidden in. And inside, you can put any number of clues. I love to design my clues on Canva because I love Canva. But you can design any kinds of things that you want. I will also show you later. BreakoutEDU has kit games that you can just print out. You don't have to create anything yourself. So I'm doing an April break themed breakout with them, where they will have to do some simple subtraction in order to crack one of their first locks. So the locks themselves are programmable, which is super cool. This is an example of one of their number locks. It's really easy to program it. You just push this thing down and you turn the dial, done and done. You can also order replacement locks. So if your kids are not so gentle, you know, it's like it's only a couple bucks to replace each lock. You don't have to reorder another kit if we have some overeager students that just stand and they have to pull on it and whatever else happens to it. So here's an example of a color lock. Again, it's programmable. This end comes off, and you slide the rings on to your desired combination. It's super easy to get them together. And let me see the next one. They have some other cool things too. So they will send you, here's my letter lock. It also has the directional arrows on it. So in the kit that they send you this wonderful claw, which is how you attach multi-locks. So just like in the digital games where we had to solve more than one lock, you can attach as many locks as you want to this thing, and they have to crack it. Now, is it an issue when you have 20 kids that are all trying to crack a lock? Yes, which is why I normally break them into groups where they have to solve one specific lock, and until they have an idea of the combination, they cannot approach the claw box. But one of the things that I wanted to show you guys, which, to bring it back to the 4 C's, right? The 4 C's is what we were trying to tackle with what kind of skills we wanted these kids to learn. So communication, critical thinking, collaboration, creativity. Breakout sends you discussion cards. So when the kids are done, it's a really, really cool thing to get them thinking about what kind of skills that they used, right? And so this one, they're color-coded. This green is a critical thinking card. So this one says, explain something new you learned through playing the game. The blue is a communication card. What advice would you give another group of, would you give another group of players before playing a BreakoutEDU game? And sometimes I give them a card. Sometimes we just have a discussion. Usually the same issues come up. I should have listened to a teammate. I didn't think about that detail. You know, all of these things that we want kids to notice. So the discussion cards are definitely a nice way to wrap up when you've done an escape room activity. But the best part for me is like when they get a lock. It's like the best feeling in the world. They're celebrating. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got it. And it's like, it's the coolest thing to watch. So before I forget, I do want to show you what the kit looks like on their website. So I'm gonna, if I can, of course, now I got 20 tabs open. You all know how it is. Okay, so if I go to here, I'm gonna share this tab again. Okay, so if I decided I wanted to do a physical escape room in my library and I did not want to make the materials myself, I don't have time, I'll select kit required instead of digital. I still selected those, the same criteria, so I did 4th and 5th grade and library skills. Here's one, cracking the Dewey Code, view the details, okay? It tells you exactly how to set it up with video also. So set the letter lock to poet, set the number lock to this, the directional lock to this. It'll tell you exactly what you need to print out. You can launch the timer, right? So the digital games have a built-in timer. You can launch the timer and put it up on your smartboard. I love the sense of urgency. Again, oh my gosh, we only have 3 minutes left. Come on, guys, let's go. Oh, the best. But it literally tells you every single thing you might need to do to set it up. And reflection. So it's got built-in reflection questions. You don't have to think about it, right there for you. All right. So I am going to stop sharing now. And, oh, thank you, Jackie. I actually did not know that. I was just noticing the note that Jackie put in the chat that breakout kits are also available through Tidal Wave. Nice. I did not know that. Now I know. Okay. Okay. Do we have any questions? Anything anybody wanted to know? I hope you guys get hyped. I hope you enjoy doing the solar eclipse puzzle. I just, like I said, want to be respectful of your time and considering, you know, some of us are on break. I know that I'm not, but are the physical kits completely separate from the online games? I sometimes, Jane, I think, Jane, I create my own games a lot of the times just because I'm an overachiever. So you don't need to use the digital games in order to create a game with a physical kit. I create clues in Canva. I can, like I showed you my Torrington weather one. It's just as simple, the same as it would look on the digital screen. Print it out, program my lock, I make up my own codes. So you do not need them in order, you don't need one to have the other, if that makes sense. The physical kit, you can create your own games. You don't need the digital resource, or you can just have the digital subscription if the materials are just too much. And potentially you don't even have small groups that you work with, which is the case for a lot of us, I know. So if you want kids to be able to work individually, then a digital subscription is probably the best way to go. So you can complete a totally local idea for the physical game. Yep, I do it all the time. I did a Friday the 13th themed game. Of course, it requires more work on your half. But I just love, like I said, playing around in Canva. So I can't help myself. I'm going to show you guys one more thing. So I use a lot of Canva templates. So this one, it's going to be a clue. It's going to be in that big breakout box. It's going to be inside this box when they do it on Wednesday. And so they have to figure out which lock this goes with. So like if you've picked up on when we've been talking, there are letters, directional arrows, numbers, colors, and shapes. Those are the lock options that you have. So I'm kind of mean, and I put a little red herring in here where we've got shapes embedded into my into this clue, but it's not a shapes lock. It's a color lock. So they'll have to, you know, do close reading here. We guarantee the lowest prices on garden supplies in Litchfield County. I just made up this fake business. And the answer for this clue will be the lowest to the highest price. What color is behind it? So the answer to this lock is going to be red, blue, yellow, black, green. So yeah, Jane, I made this all myself. I mean, I didn't make this from scratch. God no, Canva helped me with this. But you don't need to use the BreakoutEDU digital platform, or if you try it for a year, you know, the digital and the physical combined, maybe you don't feel like renewing the digital subscription because you've gotten everything out of it, or you don't think that, you know, you didn't use it as much as you thought. You still have the kit. So you can make your own using those materials. They're, you know, they don't have to go to waste. You can create one yourself. All right. Go back here. I love the garden center idea. I tried to make it spring themed. I like to do ones when we're coming back from a break or a holiday. I liked it because it's already so hard to get their attention when you're around a holiday, you're near April break. If it's the week before winter break, forget about it. You're already not going to get them to be quiet and to pay attention. So this is sort of my way of sneaking in some learning when I don't think there's a lot of learning that's going to happen. If they're already have a lot of energy to burn and they need to run around, they need to look at something, they need to have something physical in their hands. This is when I try to bring in an escape room option for them or breakout room option so that it sort of helps them to, you know, get all that excitement out about whatever might be coming up, but they still are doing all the things you want them to do: collaborate, share ideas, pay attention to details, you know, all of that sort of stuff.
So, at your district, you're not
No, I am. I'm
teaching
in
library
special
as an
education,
essential,
too. I do both.
or like a,
Yes.
oh, you are. So would you ever use this like in a regular
I
class?
would. I have not yet, just because I have a closer curriculum that I have to follow. But I would if afforded the opportunity.
Okay.
Because I haven't really had the opportunity to put that into my regular curriculum yet, which is why this class, this enrichment class, was kind of, I was able to help design it to a certain extent, so I was able to kind of insert more of my own ideas. So I would not be opposed to it, though. It can be slow going at first. I'm not going to lie to you. You're not going to jump in and know exactly what to do with it. In the beginning, I do a lot of, this is why the lock of the day we do out loud a lot of the times, because, okay, this is what this student noticed. What else do you notice? You know, and once one person picks up on a detail or a clue, it might be easier for those that maybe wouldn't have known where to look to start looking. And a lot of breakouts, like I'm going to go back to the lock of the day just because it's what I do most often. They follow a pattern. So you notice when we did the eclipse puzzle, we started somewhere and then moved kind of like a maze. Most of the lock of the day will follow that kind of similar pattern. You have to find somewhere to start and then go from there. So it kind of also helps kids get an idea of like, what can I expect from this question? You know, it kind of helps them get into sort of routine with that sort of thing. But why I do it out loud, I can read the sentence out loud to them, emphasize the words that maybe they are not picking up on, and it helps some of the kids that maybe are not as apt for puzzles and logic to kind of pick up on those things and participate, just like some of the other higher level kids who might be doing it quietly and solving it. And, you know, I always tell them, like, if you figure it out, that's great, move on to the next thing, and while I'm working with everybody else to get there. You know, I never like to give the answer away. I hate that. I'm like, and what did you learn? You learned nothing. If she gave you the answer, you didn't learn anything. So that's what I like to do with them. All right. There's no more questions. I just want to thank everybody for sharing in this, because I love to do these puzzles. And when I proposed this to the castle board, I was just excited because I get to do the lock of the day every morning to make sure my kids can do it. I always do that. If I know it's going to be harder for them, I always give them an aid, some sort of instructional aid. So sometimes if they get, maybe there's a lock of the day that involves more math, I'll say, make sure you get your scrap paper. You know, and it gives them like a little leading hand. I don't give them any information away, but it kind of lets them know what to look out for. So I get to do them every morning. So if I get excited and I'm excited about it, it gets them even more excited. No, it's contagious.
Well, thanks, Christine, for your knowledge and your fun. And thanks, everybody, for spending some time with us, whether you're finished with the school day or on vacation. We're glad you're here.
I got 4 more days to go. I think I can do it. I can.
Can you share a link to your presentation?
Yes. You know what? Actually, I did not make this shareable. Could we maybe put a link to the presentation?
We'll do, yeah. Like I opened all the links, and so in the follow-up with the recording, we'll pop in the links and your presentation, Christine.
Awesome.
And I know you're so good. I know you'll remember this.
Thank you so much.
Share it with us.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.